I'd like to start off and let you know that my name is Dawn and my husband Jeremy. We've been making dog food since about 2013. We just wanted a healthier option for our dogs. It's been working for us ever since. I've taken what used to take just a couple of hours now takes me almost a full day because I make 3 batches at once. I have the freezer space, so I don't want to have to make this as little as often as I have to. So these are the ingredients that I use. I choose ground turkey for my dogs. We were using ground beef at the beginning. One of my dogs had an issue, so we switched to ground turkey. It's been working for several years just fine. We get some canned chicken in a 6-pack here. I also get carrots. This bag is empty. I've already cut up the carrots. I get a bag of 3-pound bag of carrots from Sam's Club. I get a bag of, which is 2 pounds of broccoli florets. And I also get another bag, and I put that into a third for each of my batches. I also buy a bag of 5 pounds of organic sweet potatoes. I get 2 pounds of sweet peas frozen, and then I also get another bag so I can make that into a third as well for my other batches. I use a dozen eggs, and I use about 8 cups of rice, which is dry rice. And I pre-cooked that before starting today because it does take several hours to do 3 batches. So, and then I use this bin here only because it makes it easier to mix everything. It is a large amount of food. If you're going to make a smaller batch, you can use a smaller bowl. I choose to use my blender for my eggs, and I use a food processor to make this process go very smoothly.
Hi, I'm Jeremy, and I'm Dawn's husband, and I'm going to show you the part that I take place in this recipe here, which is dealing with the sweet potatoes. And typically we just want to wash them off, give them a good rinse. Once you're done, basically you're going to cut this up into small chunks. Just so to make it easier for the food processor to get it down and break it down a lot easier. Alright, so we've already done the broccoli and the carrots in the food processor, and we put them in the bin there. And now my wife's getting ready to do the sweet potatoes, and we're going to just show you this process here since we didn't show you the broccoli and the carrots.
And I just take a couple of handfuls. I like to have my pieces pretty small. I have Yorkies, so I have small dogs. If you have a larger dog, then you can leave your chunks bigger if you choose. And they're going to cook down as well, but I like to have smaller chunks, and they also cook faster. Alright, so I've got my vegetables, the broccoli, the carrots, and the sweet potatoes all in the food processor and ready to go. I'll show you that in a minute. Now I'm going to take care of the eggs, and I just put the whole egg into the blender. Just one dozen eggs. I just throw them in here. Shells give a lot of good calcium for your dogs. I just put it on pulse. Turn it on first. Do that a couple of times. You really want those shells to get blended up into the egg. Okay, so this process, you can see that the broccoli is well chopped. The carrots are very well chopped, and so is the sweet potatoes. Like I said, I do them very fine because I have small dogs. The next process that I'm going to do is we've got this ground turkey. It's 93.7. There's 2.5 pounds in each one of these pouches, so it's a total of 5 pounds. I'm going to go ahead and dump that in there. And then the next process that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mix up my eggs again to get those shells, because now that I've let it set, the eggshells seem to go down to the bottom. So I'm going to stir those up real quick. Take but a second. I take these eggs and they get poured all over into your mixture. Make sure you get all those shells. There's a bunch of shells in there, and you want to make sure that you get as many of the shells as you can out. Once I get that done, I have these crazy gloves that my husband used for barbecuing. I'm going to go ahead and use those. I recommend that you use some kind of gloves, otherwise it's very messy and you're constantly washing your hands. So now I'm just going to take this mixture. There again, it's the broccoli, the carrots, the sweet potatoes, the ground turkey, and the eggs. And I am going to just mix all this together the best that I can. Okay, that's pretty well mixed. Got some broccoli in every little spot, it looks like. It's pretty well. And another good reason to wear these gloves is they come off super easy. Now I'm going to get the foil pan that I bake this in. There again, I get these foil pans from Sam's Club. Not sure if they say how big they are, but kind of see how big it is. This is a busboy bin, and it's the same length as that. It's pretty good size, but all of this should fit in this pan. Okay, I think I got most of everything out of here that I can. Now I just kind of squish this in here, pat it down. Important thing is I have found that you want to create a little crevice here around the entire pan. This allows the juices to gather here. And if you don't overcook it, those juices transpire into your food, and it is very helpful to keeping it from drying out. And I just kind of pound this down a little bit. Looks like a giant meatloaf. Keep those sides open for the juices, and I'm going to put it in the oven at 375, and I cook it for approximately an hour. That's how long I cook it for. If you overcook it, then the all of your juices here, if you overcook it, they will be completely crusted, and it'll tell you that you've overcooked it. So like I said, about an hour. Our next step is I'm going to put in the chicken. And the chicken, I'm using 6 cans. They're 12.5 ounces each. And it's just canned chicken chunks. I'm going to put this in here. I've drained it and opened it already. It comes in water and I don't want all that water. So basically just going to put all of the cans of chicken in here. Some of them come in pretty good chunks. So I'm gonna do the chicken first before I add anything else, because if I don't, it makes it a little bit harder to shred it down to smaller pieces. So if I just have the chicken to deal with, I can see what my chunks look like, and I don't have any interference. So, makes it easy using the canned chicken. Now you can use any kind of chicken you want. You can buy a whole chicken and that they have at like Walmart or Sam's Club, come home and just shred that if you like. You can make some chicken breast, thighs, whatever kind of chicken you really want. I just find that this is easiest, and because this is already cooked chicken, I don't put it in the oven with the other ingredients. I don't want to cook it down per se. Same with the rice. I don't put the rice in my cooked mixture because the rice is already cooked and you don't want to cook it down again. So there's my chicken, and it makes it really easy to do it that way. Now, next step I'll do is I had my rice and I already pre-cooked it in my cooker. This was eight cups of dry rice, so I'm gonna add that. And it does make it a little easier if you add these as you go, because this is going to get to be a lot of ingredients. And the rice that I've chosen to use for my dogs is brown rice. Use whatever kind of rice that you want to use. But there again, I buy a really big bag at Sam's Club of brown rice, and usually lasts me probably, I can make rice, or I can make dog food twice with that big bag, but I'm making 3 of these batches when I do it. So I don't have to make dog food, but every maybe 4 months by doing this many pounds of it. So now I've got my chicken and my rice mixed up, and it looks pretty even there. So now I'm going to start with my meatloaf per se. And if you can see what I was talking about on the edges. On the edges, I have all of the fats that are surrounding it, and that is a good thing. And you want to keep all of that in with your dog food. So here I've got, and this is cooled. I wait till this cools somewhat. And now I just use a large spatula. Seems to work the best, better than a spoon for me anyway. And I just start taking all of this out of this pan until it is all in this bin. As I can get this. Try to get all the fats as possible. So once I get that, then I'm going to mix all this together. Alright, so I'm pretty much done mixing this up. It's blended pretty well. I mix all this up because it's kind of a harsh process. And so I do it before doing the peas, because if you do the peas all at once, then you get mush for your peas. So I have 2 pounds here. They're still somewhat frozen. I just pour those into there. And then I add a third of this bag because, like I said, I do 3 of these. So I'm gonna put about a third of those into that and save the rest for my other batches. Now I'm going to gently fold in my peas. And you don't want them completely thawed because then again, if you do, then they just kind of go to mush. And I don't want mushy peas. So I just kind of fold this in to my mixture. Like I said, it's already been mixed for the most part. It's just folding in those peas and getting them somewhat throughout your mixture. Once you've done that, it's pretty quick because there's not that many. I think that's good enough. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I've chosen these Ziploc containers. They seem to work pretty good for me. This is an 8-cup container. I don't go by the cups, I go by the weight. So I weigh out all of my containers, and I'm going to tear this out. And once I start, I'm going to put 4 pounds of food in each one of these. And 4 pounds of dog food for my 2 Yorkies lasts me almost exactly 7 days, which is what you want. You don't want to use a container that's going to last you longer than 7 days in the refrigerator. You want to be able to keep these in the freezer as long as possible until you're going to use them. And I have found that for my dogs that 4 pounds of food lasts them 7 days. So I just put this on my scale till I get to 4 pounds. I'm right at 4 pounds. Then I can go and I can squish it all down in there so my lid will fit on there. And this is what I do until I have all the food in a container. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention earlier, and I forgot to do, is I like to take these bins and I like to buy the big roll of tinfoil from Sam's Club. As you can see that it is larger. So when I do take this out and I put it in here, it will cover the entire thing, sides and all. And so when I'm done with the dog food, all I have to do is take that tinfoil out, throw it away, rinse this out, and reuse it. A bit of a penny pincher. So if I don't use the tinfoil, then I do wash these and I reuse them. I don't like to throw them away as a one use. So I will try to use these as often as I possibly can until they get grimy. And that's why I definitely recommend the tinfoil. But if you just want to throw them away, perfectly able to do that as well. Okay, so now that we're finished with the dog food, this is what I've made in 3 batches. It's a little overwhelming, but I have the storage space, so I like to make as much as possible. So with one batch, it'll make 7 containers. 7 containers is 28 pounds or 73.5 cups. Now I feed my dogs, like I said, I have Yorkies. I have one senior dog and I have one Yorkie that is a 2-year-old pup. My senior dog, I feed her 1/4 cup twice a day. And my 2-year-old, I feed her 1/2 cup twice a day. So they get a 1.5 cups a day, and 1 container lasts me 7 days. I have talked to my vet about this dog food, and he did not say that there was any problem with this. We also do give our dogs a supplemental vitamin as well. The vitamin, you can buy whatever kind of supplemental vitamin you choose. There are different ones. The one that we choose, we only give once a day. and it's a powder, so it's very easy to give it to them with their food. It's not a tablet or a chew, so it's just right into their food. So if you have a dog that has teeth issues or anything like that, it's very easy for them to be able to eat it with their food. And this is a great food for senior dogs too, without teeth, because it's very easy for them to chew up. One of my dogs is that way, and it works very well for her. So on with the ingredients. So we have ground turkey. We have 5 pounds of that. If you buy it at Sam's Club, it's $11 for 5 pounds. And it's 2 containers, 2.5 pound containers in each one, but it comes in a bulk of 5 pounds. So that's $11. I buy the broccoli, and it's about 2.5 pounds for the broccoli, because I buy 1 bag, and then I add to my 2-pound bag a little more. So it's about $4. I buy a 3-pound bag of carrots. Those are organic carrots, and that's $3.36 for 3 pounds. And those are mini carrots as well, which it doesn't really matter. You're putting it in the food processor, so it doesn't really matter what kind of carrots you buy. The sweet potatoes, I get 5 pounds at Sam's Club, and I believe those are organic as well, and those are $5.98 for 5 pounds. I do 2.5 pounds of peas, which I buy at Walmart. I think Costco carries them, but Sam's Club I don't think has them. So I buy frozen peas, 2.5 pounds, and those are $2.50 for a bag, and I get that at Walmart. And actually that's a bag and a third. So if you just want 1 bag, it's $2. I do buy the canned chicken. It's 75 ounces. It's 6 12.5 ounce cans, and that equals about 4.5 pounds of chicken, and that's $9.88. And the last thing that I add is eggs. I add a dozen eggs, and those are about $1.20 per dozen. And so in total, this made 28 pounds of food, 73.5 cups, and it cost me $38 approximately to make all this dog food. I'd like to thank everybody for watching our video. I did name my dog food recipe Gidget's Gourmet. I hope your dogs enjoy it as much as mine do. I would really like it if you liked our video, shared it. This is actually my first video ever posting, so it's kind of crazy. I'm not used to doing something like this, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys get a lot of healthy dogs out of having some good food.